Now, we want to bring you a local Congressman Brian Bilbray now with reactions to both of these rulings. He joins us live in Washington, D.C. Good evening, Congressman.
Good evening, Lauren, and good to hear the Surfing Madonna was saved. If we can save the Surfing Madonna, hopefully we can save the Mt Soledad Memorial.
Okay, well then, since you brought it up first, let's start there. What do you make of today's ruling, or lack thereof?
Well, I think it's a challenge, and we're going to have to go through the process. The citizens of San Diego have gone through this. I remember my dad pointing up to the memorial and saying that's the only memorial to Korea, the Korean War veterans, and it meant a lot to my father. It means a lot to a lot of us who are San Diegans, and just as much as we try to work out a process to be tolerant, we don't want to be intolerant of something just because somebody may take offense to it. And I think that the War Memorial is one of those things that need to be preserved, and we should work together to try to make sure we preserve it. That's part of our responsibility to the legacy of those veterans who served the country so diligently during the Korean War and the wars since.
Right, but there were plenty of Jews and Buddhists and atheists who also served. Should their rights to not have that religious symbol not be recognized as well?
Well, Lauren, you know, if you go to a cemetery, if you go to Normandy, you'll see unknown soldiers with a cross over them because it's the universal sign of memorial in our culture. And, you know, we've got a system that says tolerance down the line. There's a cross at Presidio. I remember Susan Gold and I working hard to save the Beth Israel Synagogue and put it into the park at Old Town. And you've got a Shinto shrine sitting on Shelter Island at the Port District land. We don't tear things down just because somebody might perceive it as being more religious than a cultural icon. And frankly, I think that, you know, we're a nation of tolerance, not a nation of intolerance. And I think here is the point of, are you looking for offense? Presidio has a cross sitting on it. I haven't seen anybody sue to attack that cross, even though it's a shrine to the Franciscan monks who brought, exploration and brought the mission system into California.
Okay, Congressman, real quickly, we are very short on time, but I do want to ask you about the Supreme Court ruling today on immigration. Good thing, bad thing?
Well, I think it was a good thing because the biggest issue was it focused on the fact that the locals have the ability to participate. If an officer in his due diligence is questioning somebody, be it a traffic stop or whatever, and becomes obvious or becomes prevalent that there might have been a violation or this person may be illegally in the country, obviously the officer needs to do due diligence. If it has somebody with no identification, no documentation at all, it's just like if an officer pulled you over for a broken traffic light and saw a bag full of substance that looked like drugs. He had the right to be able to follow up on that. The same thing happens with our immigration policy, and local law enforcement is absolutely essential in all our law enforcement. You can't break local law enforcement out of either the drug policy, immigration policy, or car theft. It's essential, and to say that we're going to allow local law enforcement to participate in all federal laws, that's something that we've always done traditionally. God help us if we told our local law enforcement they can't stop drug smugglers when we catch them crossing the border.
Congressman
the same
Bilbray,
thing applies when we detect that somebody's broken our immigration law.
Congressman Bilbray, this is a subject we're going to continue to follow for some time to come, and I'm sure it will have other court tests as we move forward. Thank you so much for joining us tonight from Washington, D.C., Congressman Brian Bilbray from the 50th District.